Hello and welcome to another edition of the TC and Company podcast. Tom Caron coming with you in the final days of August, and feels like the final days of the Red Sox hopes for making a playoff push. The gauntlet that we talked about for so long lived up to that. Split the 4 games, 2 wins each way in Houston, and the rousing second win, the 17-1 win in Houston, kind of had everybody fired up once again. They had come back on that Wednesday night game, winning in extra innings after losing the first 2 in sloppy fashion. Dodgers came to town, big emotional weekend, Mookie Mania, so many storylines with so many former players on each side. Red Sox give up the lead in the later innings, 6th and 7th inning. Pivetta had trouble, and they lose game 1, but they come from behind and win a wild one before a huge crowd, a playoff type atmosphere on Saturday. Then just a workmanlike performance by the Dodgers on Sunday, which brought us to Monday and the Kyle Bearclaw game, one of the worst innings you'll ever see. And the poor guy was left out there to wear it for the team. Didn't have his best stuff, obviously, or anything close to it. 4 walks in the inning, hit 2 batters, no action in the bullpen. And a lot of people saw that as a white flag from the team, that this is all about protecting pitchers and moving on to next year. It was more than that, obviously. They're not going to risk the medical status of any of these guys. But then more sloppy play coming Tuesday night, and the Astros are just showing that they are ready to make a move to win the division. A lot of baseball left, as the Red Sox will move on to Kansas City, then down to Tropicana Field against Tampa Bay. But 6.5 games, I have the old playoff viability quotient that we talk about over the years on NESN, where you have to have more weeks remaining than you are games behind to be a viable contender. And the Red Sox now on the wrong side of that, less than 5 weeks to go. And they are over 6 games out in the wild card race. So we'll see where they go over these last 4.5 weeks or so. But perspective was everywhere at Fenway over the last couple of days with the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. 21st time we've come together to do this, raising so much money over the years to fight cancer. And dropping by to talk about that fight was none other than the legend, the Hall of Famer, David Ortiz. Big Papi sat down with me for a little bit to talk about what it means to him to help the Jimmy Fund and his foundation, and how he really learned from the Jimmy Fund to model that foundation. But he also talked about a couple of things going on with this team, and specifically how bizarre it was to see Mookie Betts back in Boston for the first time playing against the Boston Red Sox. So here he is, David Ortiz, Big Papi, on this week's TC and Company podcast.
Secret Service in the house.
Bucket hat. It's bucket hat time.
TC, you're undefeated, man. You're undefeated.
All right, David Ortiz with us. It was an interesting weekend with Mookie back in town, and a lot of others. And Justin Turner here and Kenley Jansen did a lot of storylines, but it was about Mookie. I know you spent a little time with him. It's weird to see him come back. 4 years, been a long time. What did it feel like to watch Mookie on the other side?
Well, I mean, he's been going for, a couple of years already? And it seems like it never gets old. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that he's pretty much what every organization is expecting from a player. You know what I'm saying? High caliber player, that he had an incredible credibility when it comes down to play the game and the things that you also do off the field. And he's the perfect package for anyone on MLB baseball as of right now.
You knew him as a very young man, and he was kind of quiet, wanted to stay in the background, but he had you. He didn't have to be in the limelight. Now he goes out there, and you see his personality come out. He hosts a podcast. I never thought Mookie Betts would host a podcast. Did you see that in him? Did you know that personality would someday come out?
Oh, yeah. Mookie, the thing is that Mookie, he never tried to rush things out. You know what I'm saying? He was waiting for his moment, and he was waiting to be the chill for the other players, just like I was here when I played in Boston. When he was here, basically, a guy like me, he was trying to learn at this level. He got the enthusiasm. He had the personality. Like I say, he's the full package. I saw him playing second base yesterday, and then all of a sudden he was playing right field. I mean, the guy is the really full package. And when it comes down to what he's doing right now, it's not surprising to me.
Dave Roberts said yesterday, it's not easy for a guy dealing with the emotions and dealing with everybody wanting to see him before the game to be able to put that away and perform like he did over the weekend. And it got me thinking of you right away in that final season. I still remember the day I did. I talked to you for like an hour and a half. It went long, and we did the whole documentary. And you had a game that night, and you had to go deal with your feet, and that was going to take another 2 hours. But you went out and hit a home run and went 3 for 4, I think, that night.
That's right.
But it's not easy, right? You have to be able to do this, do that, put it aside, step out there and try to be the best. How tough is that?
The most important thing, you have to carry the personality to be able to do that. Not many guys are able to, pay attention to other people and at the same time get prepared for the game and be able to come through. Not many guys are capable of. You see, I know many superstars that they want no part of it. And Mookie is the perfect guy that I can tell you his personality, what he brings to the table. He just reminds me myself of my younger days when I was active playing and I had to pay attention to everybody plus do my thing. He carried that personality with him. So when I see him doing all the podcasts, I mean, he's in Hollywood right now. You know how things go down there. I'm pretty sure everybody want a piece of him over there. And he had the personality, and he's on the right environment to be able to take care of all of it.
Seeing Mookie Betts here didn't make me feel old. Seeing Dave Roberts managing the Dodgers makes me feel old, right? I mean, it feels like yesterday that you guys won that 0-4 team. It's incredible what he's done. He's done a great job.
Unbelievable. I mean, Dave Roberts is one of my favorites. I remember I had the opportunity to interview him a couple of years when they first won the World Series over there. And, man, I'm telling you, I mean, the dynamic that they have going on, on that ball club, the players, the discipline, the dedication. I mean, it tells you about the history behind or what organization, the Dodger organization, has been able to do the past couple of years under his command.
The number of managers now that you spent time with in the clubhouse here, whether it was Terry Francona teaching them or just the fact that, I was honored to cover those teams, and you guys always talked baseball. I mean, I'd walk in and it was like a master class in listening to you. Spring training, it was the 400 level college class in baseball. You'll never be a manager because you can't afford the pay cut. You make too much doing everything else. But you look around, what is it about those teams, 03, 04, 05, that whole era that has created so many managers?
Well, in that era, I can tell you, that we were a student. We used to be a student that we want to take things to the next level. We want to be able to learn as much as we can about the game so we can put it on play. And all of a sudden, when I see all these guys that play with me during that era becoming to be managers, that tells you a lot about the player that went through that era, and it was no wasting of time. It was always in the learning mood, and that's what you are seeing right now.
There's hints that Terry Francona might be retiring. We know the health, the stuff he's gone through health-wise. I'm not sure I would trust Terry Francona to go get a pizza, but there's no one I would trust more to manage a baseball game because on the field, there's nobody like him, is there? Absolutely.
Terry is one of my favorite. Terry, I learned so many things and so much from him. But like you say, sometimes the health issues sometimes keep you away from doing the things that you love. Like, for example, I had to retire of baseball. I mean, I know I was getting out there, but also injuries and pain and all the stuff take place on me wanting to retire. And I'm pretty sure that's what the situation is right now because what people don't realize is that all the traveling, all the late night things, all the, having to be at the field early, I mean, that is something that you cannot avoid. You know what I'm saying? And he's out there in age, he's catching up, he's going through all these health issues, and and I'm pretty sure that's what is forcing him to retire. But a guy like Terry Francona, trust me, he want to manage until he's 100 years old.
And he could. And he could. He might just not be able to walk out to the mound. He might have to send somebody else out. Justin Turner, maybe having the best year of his career at 38. You had one of your best years in that final year. But being around JT, like the work you got to put in before the game at that age, it gets tougher every year, doesn't it?
Listen to me, Red Sox. Once again, JT Turner is the type of player that you want to build. You wanna take advantage of his next couple of years coming up. This is a good sign at the age of 38. Why is it a good sign? Because people always focus on age, but people sometimes don't realize the importance of having a guy like him in the clubhouse. This is a guy that he's a leader. He comes from a winning ball club. He know what's up, TC. He know what it takes to get to the promised land. So if I'm the Red Sox right now, I take advantage of his next couple of years. I have him around. Look at the monster season that he's putting together. We know how great of a hitter he is. We know how good he can play defense. But we also know what he brings to the table for the clubhouse load up with young players. So got it right there. Go and get him.
You got him. Don't lose him. Jimmy Fund Telethon is here. You spent a long time here. You know what the Jimmy Fund is all about, what it means. What do you think of when I bring up the Jimmy Fund? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? What do you think of?
Kids. I mean, I love kids. I always want to put the smile on kids' faces. And, you know, whatever or however the things goes down or whatever we can do to be able to help these children, that is the Jimmy Fund for us to provide any type of help. So I'm gonna call you out, whoever is watching this this show, to do whatever it takes to help the Jimmy Fund, because there's a lot of beautiful children suffering with disease and stuff like that out there, that the Jimmy Fund, all we do right here is try to help them. And without your support, it's not going to happen.
Your foundation has done an amazing job helping so many kids with heart issues here and back home in the Dominican Republic. Did you learn from the Jimmy Fund? Was that part of the inspiration?
Of course, of course. I mean, the Red Sox, they do an amazing job educating us as a player, so we get attached to the community service, you know, to the hospital, to the school, and we send the right message to all those kids out there, because we became to be role model for them. You know, you like it or not, that's exactly how it goes down. So the more you learn and you take advantage of what the Red Sox as an organization teaches how to be as a player, the more you get familiar with things and the more you want to do. That was my case, you know. I started my foundation basically when I first got here in Boston, and my foundation been running for the past 16 years, and all we have been able to do is just help children to have a better life, you know, get their heart right. And man, you know, I mean, I can't even walk on the street because I always bump into one of them. Hey, Papi, I went to your foundation. I got my heart fixed. This and that. Those type of things, to me, are better than someone telling me, hey, you hit a grand slam on this. You hit a home run right here. Because you know that, I mean, one thing that I learned to see is that life is not all about me. Life is about teaching some other, helping some other, and put some others in a better shape, better situation. And I'm very happy that the Jimmy Fund, throughout the year, the Red Sox teach me how to get it done so that I can, you know, continue moving on with.
You went through a health scare, and the fact that you got quick medical care and some of the best doctors in the world helped you through that. You think about that same thing, whether you're a kid or an adult, you're diagnosed with cancer, it's scary as hell. Right? But you go in down there, and they are the best in the world. And it means everything.
It don't matter what age you are. When you're sick, you're sick. And all you want to do is just see the best doctor, see the people that can help you to get over the hump. And like I say, you know, the Jimmy Foundation is one of the best out there, helping children, helping people, you know, and try their best.
You were here over the weekend with a Make-A-Wish patient. You've done a lot of those. You've made a lot of wishes come true. Listen, you're a Hall of Famer. You've achieved the greatest levels of baseball, and you own this city. It's your bleeping city, not ours. But what does that still do for you when you're here with the kid? And you were just walking along with him like two guys in the clubhouse, showing him around. What was that like?
It's good, man. It's good. Sometimes we don't know the impact that we make in some others, especially children's, and I'm a guy that I visit a lot of hospital, visit a lot of school. I was in a hospital for 2 months. So the one thing that I learned was your eyes when you're in the hospital are the one that come from the outside to visit you, to check up on you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, when I go to see children's, when I go to visit them, it changed their whole expectation. It just, I had this one case that this kid was really sick, and I went to Mass General, to the Children's Hospital, and I was visiting a lot of kids, and he was one of them. And it was a normal visit, He don't know that I was coming. So when I came in, everything changed for him. He started eating his meal because I interact with him. I basically told him, hey, the minute you get out of here, I need you to stop at Fenway and come and check me out. Probably hit a home run for you. Those type of conversations that are simple, we a child, but sometimes we don't know the impact that we have. 6 months later, his grandpa was waiting for me in the parking lot after the game, and he was like, hey, Mr. Ortiz, can I talk to you for a minute? And I was like, yes, sir, what's going on? He's like, hey, you know what? You went and visited my grandson 6 months ago, and now I have him running all healthy at the house, this and that. I just want to come and say thank you, if anything I can do. The guy, you know who the guy was? He was the guy who have a company who do all the hard drive for all the university here in Boston. Yeah, and he also want to help me out with education back in the Dominican to help to organize it. But like what I'm trying to tell you is we do things that have an impact that sometimes we don't even know.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And he told me straight up, hey, listen, since that day that you went and visited my grandson, everything changed. He got all excited. He wanna eat. He wanna come and watch you playing. All the stuff. So those are the messages that I want to send to the players. Never stop doing that, because you never know how remarkable it is to change someone's life.
That's a great story. Dave Roberts said, I was talking about Justin Turner over the weekend. He said, the best thing I can say about him, he gets it.
He gets it.
You get it, my friend. You get it. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it, brother.
David Ortiz with us. Always great to catch up with David. He's been around quite a bit this homestand. Great to see him. But, he's a guy who's always been there for the kids. When the Red Sox need him for something, he is there. I've always said one of the things that makes him special is he could be in a room full of CEOs and then step out and go into a third grade elementary school and would connect with both groups equally. He just knows how to connect with people, but kids bring the best out of him. His foundation has done amazing work in Boston and the Dominican, helping kids with heart issues. And now taking his platform and helping the Jimmy Fund over the last few days. So we thank him. If you're listening to this, even if the telethon has come to an end, you can still make a donation, jimmyfund.org. We will always gladly accept your money. It is an amazing couple of days where we not only raise a lot of money, but we raise spirits. A lot of people putting a lot of energy, and it's palpable at Fenway. So the baseball has been a little underwhelming the last few days, but the support and the fight against cancer has been overwhelming. And we thank all of you who have helped in those efforts this year and in years past. Now it's off to Kansas City. As the Red Sox hit the road, they'll get an off day, first off day in a while. September's a much easier schedule as far as the workload goes. They've got days off sprinkled in the rest of the way. And we'll see what happens, how they, do they handle this and at least finish strong as they can? We saw the Yankees really kind of go south when things started to get away from them. So hoping the Red Sox can avoid that and at least put a strong finish on the field. You got to finish above 500, got to finish out of the basement, at least take steps in the right direction from last year. So we'll talk about that in the weeks to come. But for now, we thank David Ortiz. Once again, we thank you for listening to the TC and Company podcast. We'll see you again next week.